Hey, Babsi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Let's wait for the others.
Hello? Hello, is my microphone working?
Yes. Hello, Johannes.
Perfect. Hey, Annika.
Hey.
Hey everyone. Can you hear me? Hi.
Hello? Jan? I can't
Hello?
hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so let's start with our daily to-dos.
Don't forget to check your time in Toggle.
Oh, I always forget that.
Okay, so open Confluence and go to the to-do page. I prepared already what we have to discuss today.
Thanks, Babsi. So mine is the first point, so I'll start. I thought of a better indicator for the progress, and I can show you the wireframes in Balsamic.
They're really nice. Good job, Annika.
Yeah, I agree with you. This new concept can possibly help the others understand the current location much better.
If everyone is okay with it, I will add a task to implement this in Visual Scrum. So we can tackle this in our next sprint and we don't forget about it.
Yes, Babsi, please go for it. All right. Talking about programming, I found an issue with scrolling. Maybe we can have a look at it. So can we take a look at it on GitLab? We created an issue there.
I might have an idea how we can fix this quickly. Do you want to join my Visual Studio Code live session?
Yes, I would be interested.
Yeah, me as well.
Okay, I will send the link into the dev channel in Slack. Here you are.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. How can we fix this with only CSS?
We just have to add one property, so it's on the wrapping element. See?
Wow, I didn't know that this property exists.
I don't want to disturb you, but aren't we forgetting something?
Ah, our midterm presentation.
Absolutely. So let's start with the presentation.
So yeah, now we are in the real presentation. We are the team Angehörigendialog in the project container data visualization.
Our project is a cooperation with the Volkshilfe and the FH research team. Together, they created an analog questionnaire as a tool to help social workers find fitting help for people who nurse their relatives with dementia at home. So let me give you an example. This is Sandra. Sandra nurses her grandmother who has dementia at home. Sandra really loves her grandmother, but of course it is a mentally and physically demanding task for her. So the Volkshilfe tries to help her. They send a social worker to her house, who then asks her some questions. And this way they can find out what is difficult for Sandra in particular and what possibilities exist so they can improve that. Here you can see the analog questionnaire, what it looks like now. And so what is our task now? Our task is the digitalization of the paper questionnaire and therefore the improvement of the workflow for the social workers and to create new ideas for visualizing the end results of the questionnaire. Let us introduce ourselves now. My name is Annika. I'm the project leader and the designer of the team.
Hey, and I'm Jan. I am the first of the four developers well, not the first, but one of them. And my group calls me Mr. CSS Master 3000.
Hello, I'm Johannes, and I'm also a developer of our team.
Hello, my name is Barbara, and I'm also part of the developer team.
And I am Felix. I'm assisting Annika with project lead and management tasks, and I'm also developing.
Now let me give you a quick insight on our design progress. Here you can see the starting page. We didn't change that much here. And there you can see the overall look of the questionnaire. It's just a quick overview. You don't have to get it in detail. And this is the notes-taking feature.
All right, and the development process. It's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to presenting it at the actual presentation. I'll mention that we started very early. So we started very soon developing the fundamentals of the form. So how it's rendered, how it's created. And then another very interesting thing is the continuous development, or the continuous delivery, which we implemented in our pipeline. It's interesting because it enabled us to publish very often. So at the time of speaking, we created already about 100 builds. So if you click once more, then you see the current state of our website, of our app. Thank you, Felix. Could you please click once more?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you can see our time schedule, which is split into 3 sprints. We are currently in our second sprint, which is running from the 18th of April due to 4th of May. In the sprint 0, which was at the start of the semester, we mostly focused on developing the basis for the digital questionnaire. This included decisions like which tools do we use, or just talking about how to start this project. And the design process, which was shown before, was also part of this sprint. We had some sessions with our usability lecturer, and in conclusion, we had about 5 iterations of the wireframes. And the developing team was parallel working on the implementation of these wireframes, as you have seen right before. And in the first sprint, we still focused on the digital questionnaire, and our goal was to implement further functions like the note field and the tracking of status. And we also did some improvements in the navigation as there still appeared some bugs. And furthermore, we did usability tests with people working or studying in this field. And in the next sprint, we focus on these results and implement the feedback. And a big next step is to focus on the visualizations to illustrate the results of the questionnaire. And on the next slide, you can see some of the current visualizations. And our task is to renew them or to make them better understandable. And on the next slide, you can already see some icons Annika made, and the other pictures are just ideas we gathered through the past weeks, which we could include in the visualizations. And yeah, our next step is to further investigate the possibilities for different visualizations and to implement them in our questionnaires dashboard.
Okay, now I give you a quick insight into the tools we use for our project. For communication, we use Slack and Microsoft Teams. Slack is our messenger, and Microsoft Teams we use for video conferences during the Corona crisis. It's very important. Yeah, and then we have Toggle. It's a time tracking tool. And for project management, we use Confluence and Visualize Scrum. Confluence is our tool to share documents and information. And in Visualize Scrum, we plan our sprints and the tasks we have to do during the project. Annika uses Creative Cloud, Photoshop, Illustrator, and Adobe XD for designing the application. And she uses also Balsamiq for the wireframes we've already seen. For development, we use GitLab to host our repository, and Visual Studio Code for our IDE. Visual Studio Code has a nice feature. It's called Live Share, and there we can share pieces of code and can work together remotely. Our technological stack consists of Vue.js. It's a JavaScript framework, a progressive framework. We use it because it's very popular and lightweight. And we also use D3, data-driven documents. It's a JavaScript library, and we use that for all the visualizations for the SVG elements. And we also use Netlify. It's for our continuous delivery. We use it to have a preview in the browser to see what the current project looks like. Yeah.
Let's go to the challenges. Yeah.
Yes, the challenges. Well, everyone is experiencing some challenges, some more than others. We are very lucky, and we can deal with the situation quite well because most of our communication and cooperation can be digitalized very easily. However, communication still is rather complicated and inefficient, but that's how it is. We can't do anything against it. Corona crisis is present, and we have to deal with it. Well, the division of work is another issue. At the beginning, especially at the beginning of our work, we did a lot of peer programming, which led to heavy reliance on the presence of others. And of course, it's inefficient. If 4 people are video chatting at the same time, coding on the same piece of software, asking different questions, that's distracting and inefficient. But fortunately, we managed to divide or to split up the work quite well at the moment. And that's definitely a thing we're going to concentrate even more. And this also goes hand in hand with the late Scrum kickoff. We started developing relatively early, as I mentioned before, and this led to a whole bunch of challenges for us. For example, we created or finished even many user stories at the very beginning of our project, even before creating the user stories and before starting to implement Scrum. So that was definitely a big challenge for us. And what's the small thing at the end, the last bullet point? Time management for getting food. Who wrote this? Barbara, was it you? Barbara?
Maybe.
All right, so it's no secret. Johannes and me, we usually like to have our lunch break at around 12 or 1.
But Barbara and I like to eat at 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
so
so
it's always the
2 conflicting worlds, and we'll have to find our way to deal with it.
most time we eat at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Felix.
So I will finish the presentation with a view into our office or our offices actually. Like we see some impressions of our Wienerstraße office when the way how we decided what project we want to make and the first notes on the whiteboard how we could program something. And like when everything was finished, it looked like that. But this was one day before the FH decided that we can't go to Wiener Straße anymore. And now we work from home. We still see each other via Teams, and the crazy people like myself even have a real camera as webcam, so the quality is pixel perfect.
Superb.
Yeah, right. So I think we're done. Should we go back to the others? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this.
Okay, see you there.
Bye.
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 Well, if I'm the last one, I will also leave.